What happens when an extrovert meets another extrovert? You guessed it right, non-stop talking. In today's episode of Nkani With Nkashiyandi, I'll be sitting down with the multi-talented Ikugile Makenja-Harte. With 18 years of experience shaping herself into a master ceremonies extraordinaire, Iku is a true queen of the mic. But that's not all. This multi-talented diva has also ventured into fashion and wedding matron services. Because why stop at just one talent? Tune in and learn more about Iku's journey and secrets to success and what makes her go to MC for every event. Welcome, Iku. So nice to have you on Nkani With Nkashiyandi.
Thank you very much, Stephanie.
First things first, let's talk about your career. What is it that you do besides emceeing so that the viewers can understand? I want my viewers and of course the listeners to understand who is Iku and what does Iku do?
Professionally, I actually studied bachelor's degree in real estate and also facilities management. I have an 8 to 5 job formally, then obviously media personality, the emceeing, TV, weddings, kitchen parties, whatever it is, I do it more part-time. Although most people know me for that, so I'm okay with that. I don't really talk about my formal side because I just want to keep it away from looking at it, because of the clients I deal with. I don't want to mix up the two things. But yeah, I'm Iku. I love fashion. I love life. I love family. And I just love making an impact in the world, yeah.
I love that you talked about fashion because I can't wait to get to that topic. We have a lot to talk about, but yes, I can't wait to get to that. So in regards to your emceeing work, would you classify that as the only thing that you do in terms of media? Because I know being a media personality myself, it's a vast job.
Yeah.
Besides emceeing, what else do you do in your media scope?
So I actually started as a TV presenter, to be honest. MC just kind of dropped in eventually. I started as a media personality, a TV presenter on ZNBC, TV1, the Rep. Then I also did the business magazine with ZNBC again on air. It used to come after news. So I did that for a couple of years, like many years. And then I also got onto My Kitchen Party Zambia season 1, season 2 as the first presenter for the show. We're the ones who basically birthed the whole concept with coin and all that. And then when, with time, obviously, my formal job started kind of clashing with it. So I had to pick. But then with my interaction with people during the weddings and also previously I did a few MC jobs in uni and also at home, local concerts, gospel concerts. I got the feedback like, okay, maybe I should really do this. So I now kind of find lines to, okay, let me do it professionally. Now let me charge, or let me now look at what events, what clients. So that's how I started emceeing, and I've taken that. I've kind of slowed down on the TV presenting. I would rather maybe do a show of my own and then present, but not really do like a show like on the...
I was going to say, I feel like every time that people have an idea, there's always something that's bringing you back to think, oh, maybe I shouldn't, maybe I shouldn't. For example, when I was starting this podcast, my sister was like, you can just start. And I was like, no, but I need to do this. And I think it comes from the background of me being in media, being on radio, being on TV and all of that. You always have that perfectionism behind you thinking, I need to have a camera crew, I need to do this, but I can understand, but please do start.
I will.
Start.
I
hope you do start. This is a sign for you. Yeah. So still on media, how long have you been on TV, and have you ever thought of being on radio?
I've done radio a few times. I remember at church we got a radio slot on one of our radio stations, and I was told to host it because at church I'm also like the MC of the church. So I did it a bit. I'm not confident. I think it's just I'm not confident. I won't lie. It's just confidence. It's not that I maybe got bad feedback. I'm just not confident. I'm talking to myself. Am I funny? Am I whatever? So it's just confidence issues. I need to work on that.
I was going to say I will introduce you to someone who can help you with the imposter syndrome. It's called imposter syndrome because I'm looking at you right now and I'm thinking, what confidence is she talking about? Like, you're perfectly fine, So I think I should introduce you to a friend of mine. She does all these coaching sessions and all of that. It's imposter syndrome, and I think I've stalked a lot of your videos. I've seen your emceeing is great. I think the ladies love you at all these kitchen parties and all of these weddings and celebrations that you're always in, and I think it's something underestimated. Do you think you're being underestimated in your field, or do you feel like the media is just not something that is good enough here in Zambia?
Trust me, the media industry in Zambia is controversial. I think I'm going to give a very practical example without mentioning names. So if I feature in a soap today, just because I'm famous, I'm now a musician, I can MC, I can be a TV presenter, I can open a podcast, I can do radio, like, then I'm a jack of all trades. So you're like, okay, so what am I? Right. So even when you're choosing a page, you're trying to define yourself, because now media personality, am I an MC, am I an event host? Like, it's really hard. Who am I? So it's really hard. I don't know if people are going with being famous or numbers or being everywhere, or it's wanting to catch the client from whatever. So it's been a bit weird, shaky. But from my side, like, I give an example. I started with TV, so that was what we knew. MC a long time ago when we were growing up, it was for Uncle Bob Bongosha, Uncle Biggie. Yes. So it was very rare, like, to see a woman MC. Women were more like a up a knife girl or a bridesmaid, a flower girl, or a matron. So women were not really there. So you even aspire to be an MC. It's only when things started changing, when you became a presenter, then the crowd related well with you and like, okay, let me try. And someone would just give you a spot. Can you land it? Then now from there, you're like, okay, this is making sense for me. And then now you package yourself. So for me personally, I know that I flow well with TV and also MC. But then with obviously TV, it became like after COVID, people were now becoming very innovative. They'll do social media. So social media started training. I started doing videos. Okay. Like I jumped onto TikTok as well. And then I started doing these little coach videos on my Instagram. You might see them like at the bottom there. I didn't continue. I need to focus that again. You should. Yeah. So I said, okay, let me just talk about my story of how you present yourself as an MC, because I've been doing it for 18 years. Wow. So I was like, okay, let me just say something. Let me encourage people. Let me drop something into their lives or into whatever it is that they want to do. Because I never got a chance to do that. I just aspired when I watch, and I'm like, oh my God, that's really nice. No one ever really coached me, schooled me. So if I could help, I do that. So I think we just really need to define our industry and separate. Like, you're an actress, mama, stick to acting. Yeah. You're a presenter, stick to presenting. You're an MC, stick to MC. Yeah. I think we really need to do that. So because of that, it's really hard to...
I feel on the part where you're separating roles, I mean, there's also people that can actually do almost everything. I think, to be fair, there's a struggle in trying to create a niche. I feel like a lot of people struggle with creating niches and just not being a copycat. I think maybe that's it. And that's probably the word that I'm looking for, not being a copycat. Yeah. And that's why, like, when I looked at your videos, I was like, oh my God, she's really good. Like, why don't people have Iku at all their events? Because I love how professional you come out. You dress for the event, you dress correctly, you come correctly, and I think you fit in so well. So I just, for me personally, I feel that the media industry just needs to a little bit more balance. Yes. And I think it also comes from training. I'm personally trained. I'm a trained personnel, by Hot FM. So I don't know if that was something that you also did in the past, or is it something that just came naturally?
So at first it came naturally. Then I did affiliate myself with there's a program called iWespa where they kind of do some training, you interact with the international market based on the field that you're in. And also working with ZMBC, you get trained, because obviously they tell you this is how we do things and whatever. Yes. So you kind of get schooled on the job. So that has also really helped me. I think the one between me and you, I mean, the social media, or rather the attention you get from Zambia, you kind of have to make a scandal for you to make an impact. If I feel like, I'll give a very practical example, and I've tested the waters. If I take a picture in a short skirt and I just have a sexy pose, feeling sexy in my sexuality, I'll get like 600 likes. When I post, I'm decent and I'm like, guys, I was impacting lives, I went to do whatever, I'll get like 200 or 100 and something. So I don't know whether it's sex that's selling, or maybe there's a certain...
It's funny that you said that right now, because literally about like an hour ago, I was having a talk with my sister, and we were talking about how programs like this are not really big here in Zambia, and which is why, for me, to be fair, I'm not really trying to just focus on the Zambian market. I'm really trying to focus on the international market because I feel like there's more out there as well. Because there's so much, I mean, people don't understand that media is actually a business. I'm sure there's probably someone listening to this podcast or someone who's going to be watching this and thinking, how does the media personality become a business? Because they actually don't know that there's a business side to all of this, and which is why I feel like this is for a purpose for me. You know, I want to showcase Zambian businesses. I want to make sure that everybody understands that every single thing that you do in your life can actually be turned into a business. If you're providing a solution, turn it into a business, you know what I mean, and make some money out of it. And now, speaking on the business side of it, how do you think you have fared in terms of like the ratings, like your rate cards, giving people your charges to say, oh, this is how much Iku charges for emceeing? How has the crowd, or rather the audience, reacted to your rate cards?
So, you know, one thing that me and my sister as well, sister, we've been talking about, we've been praying against people removing the value of your life. So just because I'm an Iku, and I'm going to use an international person because I don't want to come out like I'm comparing someone locally. So maybe I'm an Iku and then they bring a Bonang. Bonang is big because I look up to her. Obviously, I can't even compare. But then just because I'm not a Bonang, or maybe in the circle of Bonang, they'll be like, Iku, maybe let's just give her 2,000 kwacha. Like, so if I come and say, no, but I'm worth 12 because this is how much work I'm putting in and your event would be good. No, I think 2,000 because you're not a Bonang. Come on. You know, so it's like they've already gauged you where you should be. So that has kind of shaped the clients that I bring to my table. If I give you my rate card and I see your feedback, I'm not gonna really push like, no, but come on, just get me. I'll be like, okay, maybe you don't understand what I'm about to bring to the table, so I'm not gonna push it. So the clients that appreciate my talent and appreciate what I'm going to deliver, they'll pay. Like it's been okay with that. But obviously you always have to find a mid-range, because I'm not a this in Zambia who's famous and who has all these corporate events. But then we'll probably do the same job. I'll look maybe the same way she would do it, and I'll speak maybe the same way. Or maybe I might even be funnier than her, but just because I haven't reached that epitome in my
whatever
career.
That is.
Yes, I know, right? I will not be shy. So that kind of brings a little bit of like, But I've shaped my clientele, I won't lie. So there's certain people that know my work and have been recommended, like, I know she'll do it, even she'll charge this and she'll do it, and I deliver. So it's been okay. So that's why sometimes I'm not really in people's faces, because I don't feel like I have to explain myself. No, but I'll do that. Just come on. I'm like,
right. To be fair, in regards to giving people your rate, that's one thing that I always tell people. If you know what you're able to deliver, there's no way you should negotiate your work. You can negotiate for discounts and reasonable discounts at that. But like I said even earlier, you're in the business of making money. Why would someone want to bring you down to nothing? Like, they forget. I mean, it's not just you going to speak. You need to look good, like the way you're looking right now, your hair, your makeup, your nails, you know, everything that comes with it, logistics, an assistant to take videos of you.
Color schemes, because some events are color schemes. They expect you to go wearing red.
A proper outfit.
Thank you.
So I can totally understand on when you say people have an issue, and I think that's something that we need to change. We need to change our mindset here as to what it is that we want. If you want quality, are you going to pay for it? Can this person deliver? And I mean, you just said that people refer you. So if I'm referring Iku as an MC, it simply means that she did a great job for me. So she'll definitely do a great job for you. So speaking of people recommending and all of that, obviously you mentioned there was COVID. We've got issues like, you know, load shedding happening at the moment. Have any of these things like load shedding and COVID affected your job, and how have you dealt with all of these things?
Honestly, COVID did affect our jobs, or rather MC, every entertainment, because now, someone was really joking, and now we don't even have to pay for an MC. Because you only have like 30 people at the wedding. No, and it was like I went to the council, it was like a whole mask, and it was cheaper. So most people getting married at that time, it was cheaper for them. They didn't have to pay for our bills.
I when I think about it right now, I'm like, you know what, that was a really sad time.
I know, it was really bad.
So how did you cope? Like, how did you cope with? I mean, you were you working the time that?
Yes, I've always worked. I've always had a formal job for the longest time. I won't lie to you. So I've always just juggled up. So I was working, obviously getting paid. I was an essential worker, so I'd go to work. But in terms of my media, it was really hard. So what I had to do was I jumped onto TikTok because I needed to still stay relevant. relevant.
Yes.
So the issue was staying relevant. People shouldn't forget because people kind of move on nowadays.
Of course.
So I wasn't doing any jobs by then. So what can I do? I'll jump onto funny videos, imitate whatever is trending, like try here and there, post a picture, do whatever. So just for me to be relevant, I had to knock on people's doors through content. And then also whenever there was a big event, when now the world was open, I had to make sure like the Lusaka July, I now had to say, okay, I'm going to use this. It's going to be like
as a platform.
As a platform, I always come in my outfits, whether controversial or nice or whatever, just to have something to talk about. And then that's when I now started falling in love with fashion. And I've always been fashionable, but now I've been able to explore it out of my comfort zone and say, let me try that. So that also helped me just to have people remember who I am. Because sometimes they'll be like, who's she?
Yeah.
I don't know her.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I've been here 18 years, brother. Even before DSTV, I was here. Hello.
So I like that you mentioned the fashion bit. So let's dive into the fashion bit of you. There's a controversial picture that I saw on the internet of you at the Lusaka July, and it was you in this. What color was that, by the way?
So we had copper and burnt orange, like those shades of copper.
Yes. And now, don't come in for me, guys. But this was my opinion. When I saw the dress, I was like, what is she doing in this dress? I was like, I get it. We're supposed to go big or go home. But what is she like? How was your response to everybody speaking really ill of your dresses and
cabbages? They called my flowers cabbages and whatever.
Yes.
I honestly didn't really care. I won't lie to you. For me, to be honest with you, it's the same as the first time I went on my Lusaka July. I wore this. It was a garden something. I wore this black dress and I put flowers on my. I also trended on that time. Yeah.
Only I remember that.
Yeah, so I trended that. So I always say when I go to Lusaka July, whether positive or negative, I have to break the internet. I don't care if you call me a dog or I look like a spoon or like my friend
what you want
was compared to a table. I don't mind if you're going to compare me to a table or a stick. The fact is, I will trend.
Okay, so basically what you're saying is when you go to the Lusaka July, you're not really trying to go with what people want you to go with. You just want to have this out of this world dress.
So I'm not going with what people expect me to wear. I will look at the theme and then play with the theme. Like I think beyond Zambia, Stephanie, I won't lie to you. I haven't put my mind to what South Africans wear, what Nigerians wear, because I know that's what we usually tap into. It has to be a corset, a boob, a dress, or whatever. Have to look diva, BB, whatever. I can't. For me, I can even wear a calabash. Because if you're telling me traditional, I'll get a calabash, put it on my head, or I'll get a chicken and strap it on my waist because we're talking village chicken or whatever. I will go to those extents because fashion for me is a place for you to go wild. Yeah. So even when I wore that dress, we're looking at copper, we're talking about minerals and whatever. I literally went to look for copper. So I had real copper in my bag, and I had to get a copper bag from my longe. Luckily, my longe had a copper color bag. So I got a copper color bag. And so my dress, I was like, I don't want to wear unusual dress. Like I've done a big dress, I've done a hugging dress, I've done a fur. What can I do? Let me go big. Yeah. So I just say, I'm going to have this big cape with these flowers that are like you're birthing out, because sometimes when you see a flower in the mind, like, oh my God, even though it's all sandy, we might see some. And then what do we use when an excavator? I hired a TLB. Let me get on that TLB. I even came in with an excavator, like I was actually in the mouth of the excavator.
Wait a minute. Wait a whole damn minute. You came with that thing?
Yes, that was me.
Guys, it's official. It is crazy. What? Oh my goodness. I think I remember seeing the picture with that thing.
That was me.
Girl, I was just like, what's going on here?
So I took it home. I just said, we are going in the mine. And I'm from the copper belt, so I know what I was talking about. I'm a copper la sambala. So I'm like, this is our playground, except which one will do? We kill for this.
Naturally.
So I just had to get on and just, So I knew I was expecting noise. I was kind of expecting.
Would you say then that your fashion sense, your crazy fashion sense has given you a clear path for your media, or it has molded you in such a way that you've now grown into a different person? What has fashion done for you in the business of of media?
So fashion has kind of defined who I am. Like you mentioned, some of the events that I go to, whether it's I'm having an event in John Leng or in Bonanza, I will dress up. Because I remember there's an event that I went to, like it was more of a low market type of. So when I came, they were all, but then I maintain who I am because I'm fashionable. Obviously, I will not override the bride, but I have to look my part. So fashion has kind of helped me express who I am and also just look nice. Like if we're gonna talk, I take it literally. Like for me, it's literal. If you say look glamorous, I'll bring glam. If you want me to look simple, I'll look simple. Just like that. So it kind of defines my character and it defines the event and also it defines what you're trying to bring out from whatever that you're doing. So fashion has paved way for me to be more expressive, to be who I am. I'm an extrovert. I'm outgoing. I'm fun. I'm funny. I'm whatever. So I express myself through that. So even when I wear something, I'm happy about what I'm wearing. I'm not like, are people gonna like me? Am I gonna trick? Oh no, my nice side, like maybe do let me pouch. No, I'll just come. Because I'm happy with what I'm doing.
And to be fair, I think I'm not really a fashionista, except I'm one of those people that knows what works for my body. And I think maybe that's something a lot of people struggle with. They struggle with knowing what works for your body because these are two different body types. I can't pull off what you can pull off, you know. So for me, it's neither here or there. We just thank God for my own. Now, speaking on still on your life as Iku, you did mention earlier on that when you started the journey of emceeing and being on TV and radio and so forth, you mentioned that we saw a lot of male figures in the industry of emceeing, for example. So it was more of male-dominated industry. Has that been something that maybe has affected your love life? For example, now you're married, obviously, but I know you had a time where you were actually engaged and then you know, called off that whole wedding. Did that affect your relationship? Had the media thing had
gone away? Gone
like,
viral, for example?
Or no, rather, like, did it have anything to do with you know, being out there, being this media personality? Did it affect your relationship?
So one thing I've done, my personal life is personal. I won't lie. So even when I'm dating, I don't really tell people. Because my close friends will know, and maybe when you're in uni, everybody in university knows that this is your boyfriend or your girlfriend. Such things. But me being in the media or rather in the spotlight didn't really affect. But like every man, when you're a woman, when you're looking all nice and everyone is looking, they'll always be a bit like, numbers, or when you have to be friendly towards people, like, because you are creating, not too much, but why is he hugging you? So you always have those from, I think, every guy that I've dated, but I have to always explain, no, this is all cordial, it's friend, it's professional, it's work. And obviously I've also drawn my boundary. No one ever really steps over that. So it's never really been an issue unless maybe they've said it privately. But to me, no one has really come to me. As long as I tell my partner, this is who I am, these are my boundaries, and he's comfortable with that. So like recently I was joking with my husband. Because when I was single, I would send, when someone says, oh, you look nice, I'll do heart shape. Even if it's a guy, I'm like, thank you, laugh struck. So my husband is literally like, a heart shape is like, why are you laugh struck? Why are you saying a laugh? Like, laugh struck means like you're now. So now I have to be like, okay, if it's a guy, I'll just do the blushing for thank you. Oh, thanks for supporting me. I can't really do the heart because people like, but why? You also send me heart. So are we on the same? So I now have to start defining that, like, okay, maybe these heart ones are for my husband. Then the ones for peace or yo.
Are you looking for stylish quality pieces that make you feel confident and empowered? Look no further than Mino's Closet, proudly located in Kablonga and Roma. As the wardrobe sponsor of Nkani With Nkashiyandi podcast, Mino's Closet is dedicated to providing Zambian women with fashionable, affordable, and high-quality clothing. From workwear to evening wear, Mino's Closet has you covered. Mino's Closet, keeping it classy. Would you say now that your being a married woman has changed how you even present yourself in on social media or as a media personality when you go out there as an MC and all of that? As a married woman, is it like a totally different feeling? What is it like now?
To be honest with you, because of the nature of events I do, I'm always I've been respectful, and I'm not out there. I'm not there. Yeah, it's what I'm type of MC. No. So it hasn't been so difficult for me to fit into the marriage thing. Even the way I dress, the clients I have, it's weddings. Obviously, there's an auntie, there's a mom, there's elderly people, and also just my background, my Christian morals. So I've kind of been shaped already. The only thing that maybe has changed is my interaction on social media. And then also where I would maybe hug all the guys when I go, I'll now shake their hands. Like, okay, because now I'm married. We're now getting to my husband's body space. So now I can just shake their hand. So I'm now more aware that I have a partner that respects me and I have to respect. So I kind of, those little things that would snap out, I'm no longer doing that because I have to respect my marriage.
I love that for you, because as an extrovert, I think that's very difficult.
I know.
It's one of the most difficult things to do as an extrovert. Certain things that just come out naturally. It's like, oh my God, I can't do this. Wait, I was about to.
Even when you say certain jokes, because I remember I joked, I'm like, hey, daddy. Why are you calling him daddy? I'm like, babe, it's just like that. I don't know what to say because, some things just come out. This person, shut up.
You have to know how to shut up.
Hey, I have to be like, don't say that here. So it's.
I think, there's something that a lot of people don't understand, and that's the fact that, taking an introvert into a space that is totally different from what they're used to is not exactly going to turn out the way you literally have to take it one day at a time, slowly, because it's all adjusting. And whilst we're on the adjusting part, I mean, now that you're a newlywed, because I mean, still under a year, are you adjusting to have any little ones anytime soon?
To be honest with you, I'll speak as a woman. I know everyone's said when you get married, especially some of us who get married in their 30s, we're like, hey, when are you going to have children? Right. The pressure is real. I'm like, guys, calm down. First, you are giving me pressure for getting married. Now I'm married, you have children. I feel marriage is a beautiful thing, and you're getting to live with someone that you don't know, like you've never lived with, like don't know in terms of they're not your sister or your brother or whatever. So I've kind of given myself and also my husband, we've talked about it, some time to get to know who we are, because remember, we're coming from two different cultures. So there's a lot of understanding of this and that. And I would like us to, or rather we would want to first create that bond, and then we can have the little ones. So the little ones will definitely come. We do want to have children, but we don't want to just like get into it. We really need to first grow, understand what our triggers, what our whatever, our traumas. Because like you mentioned, I'm coming from I broke off an engagement. There's some triggers that I have, so I don't want them to come in. I don't want them like living and I live all day. You know some of those things. Even him, I don't want him to start feeling. So there's a lot of ironing out that we need to do before the kids come. Because when a child comes, most people, I mean, you're a mother, you can tell me. Most people say it's like a whole different changes. So I don't want you to come and change. Whilst I'm not yet done with this side.
I mean, to be fair, being a mother, yes, obviously a lot of things do change about you. But it's something that I've always told people as well. I never want to project as in like my experiences on people when it comes to motherhood, when it comes to pregnancy, because those are some of the things that I feel you need to experience for yourself. Have your own story, no one should come and tell you, oh, pregnancy is such a drag. To be fair, everybody has a different pregnancy. I mean, I've got 4 kids, so all 4 pregnancies were very different for me. You know what I mean? So that in itself, I never really tell anyone like my personal story when they're pregnant, like, oh, you're going to have it. It's going to be like this. I never want to traumatize people. I think it's because everybody, like I said, should have their own experience, and I think you're going to make a very good mom. I think being the extrovert that you are, you might have a little mini you that you will one day regret. And when everyone tells you, you do know that that's just you, and yes, right. As we were, But please do look forward to it. Don't think too much about what it's going to change, how it's going to change. Just dive into it. And speaking of family, so you come from a family of how many siblings?
So we're 3 girls. I have an older sister. I'm the second. Then I have a young sister.
So I always get this thing about the middle child being the common. You're an extrovert.
I am not common.
I'm like, does that really exist?
None of us is common. Okay, my young sister is a bit on the common side. I think everyone is
a little loud.
Yeah.
You were living in a loud house.
Yeah, kind of. Okay, so my mom and my dad are extroverts. My mom was a matron, that Chimbusa, ABCD.
Yeah.
My father is an engineer, but he was also a party animal. And he would always be, if there's a party, if you want your party to be lit, invite Mr. Makenja. He'll...
I'm just trying to figure out.
So, yeah, I mean, when the Makenjas come, even in church, trust me, it's I don't know how to say. I'm even embarrassed. Like, everywhere we went, like the Makenja will just, I mean, if you interacted with us.
You know what's so funny about everything that you're saying right now? I'm trying to figure out how lit that house was, because I know in the house that I lived in, I think I was the loudest.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, I never really lived with any of my siblings because, like, so between me and my immediate sister, there's a 7 years gap.
Oh, wow.
So you can imagine, like, further than that. And I'm the last from my mom. So it's insane. There's always been a balance. So now I'm trying to think. 4 other people that are like me in one house, that would have been crazy.
It's crazy, yeah.
But it must have been fun.
It was really fun. I mean, all of us had obviously if I reached 10, someone takes over from 10 to, but amongst everyone, I was one who was more like, loud. I would always take over the show.
So it was obvious. Like when everybody saw you emceeing, it was like, yep, that's her. We actually knew. My parents, my mom actually, she died in 2019. May her soul rest in peace. She was my number one fan. She'd be like, oh my God, party, more pictures. Even my dad, on social media, if you go, you'll see my father's my daughter, the diva of the family. So he was a proud.
I know. Oh, so they've always known. Like it's not something like, hey, can you do this? They know. That they can do it.
That's so now, I mean, you did mention that about Coppola, meaning that you're a Coppola girl.
Yes.
For those of you that don't know what Coppola is basically everybody that's born or lived
in the Copper Belt.
So tell us a bit about your background growing up in the Copper Belt. Did you grow up in the Copper Belt, or did you grow up in Lusaka, or you were born in the Copper Belt and then grew up in Lusaka? What was your life like growing up?
So I was born in Kalushi. I'm actually Tanzanian by origin. My dad's Tanzanian. My mom's half Tonga, half Shona. She's Zimbabwean, and but I'm Zambian. I know, mixed race or whatever. But I was born in Kalushi. Lived in Tanzania for a bit, but basically born in Kalushi, raised there. Did my school in Kalushi, my primary, my nursery, and my secondary Fatima in Dola. Okay. And then my university CBU. So basically, Copper Belt has been my
raised you up.
Yes. So when I finished my degree, like I mentioned, I did my real estate. That's when looking for bread. I worked in the council for a bit, but I wanted to, try out something different. So I decided to come to Lusaka on my own with my little bags, with a 400 kwacha given by my friend. I remember by then my parents were going through some hardships, so it was I just told them, I have to go. No, but wait, maybe let's prepare you. I'm like, no, I'm just going to go. So I went to squat at my sister. She was in school. She was at NIPA. I was squatting with her. Then I just started walking around looking for a job. Like, trust me. And
Are you serious?
I am telling you, that's like that. I started looking for a job, door to door. And I was like, you better hire me. Like, I've done this. I can do this. Then a few gigs that I would find myself in, because I had friends here, I would go there, feature, record a few, whatever, sell them out, just like that. Until I found a job. Yeah.
I'm still in shock that you came with a 400 kwacha and squatted with your sister.
Yes, with my sister, my young sister, yes. And that 400 kwacha was given by my friend. And he used to work for Power Tools by then, so I even got a free ride with Power Tools. I even packed my little fridge from university, my little pots in the bottom compartment. Yeah.
Okay, so you finally got the job.
Yes, I finally got the job.
As a what?
So I worked for Knight Frank. It was like so I was like a valuation officer there, like in training, because I had just finished school, so it was like an internship. Then now I moved to Manda Hill. So I've been with Manda Hill all these years.
Really?
Since I don't like talking about my former job. Because the next thing I'm like, you a shop, so let's not talk about it.
I'll tell you something. For me, it's the determination. I love the determination that you had and said, look, no matter what, which I think a lot of us lack. To be fair, I don't think I'll be that courageous. I know a lot of people tell me how I'm very courageous. Even just doing this, everyone is like, I would never do that. I don't have the courage to do that. And I'm just like, yeah, well, I can do it.
Yeah.
So in your case, I don't see myself leaving with a 400 kwacha to just go and start a new life.
Yeah.
And that's a different type of courage. And I think that's the reason you are where you are today, because you've got this different type of courage, something that I think a lot of people lack. And maybe you should consider trying to, give some coaching sessions on how to get that courage.
Now, where I am today, I would like to, Stephanie, I've pushed. I would like that somebody came to me like, oh, Iku here. Oh, I know someone who knows. My father knew people. I mean, he's friends with all these big names.
Yeah.
But I pushed through, and through
on your own,
on my own, with God obviously by my side, in front of me, actually not by my side, in front of me, my parents
left, right,
supporting
center.
me, yes, supporting me. But I've really pushed. Every door I've gone through, I had to work hard. It wasn't really given to me like
on the silver
I had
platter.
to, and I always say that people, you have to put yourself out there. If you're waiting for someone to come, like, oh no, you never get.
Of course.
Yeah, I remember one company, they literally were shocked, like, you're so determined. I'm like, yeah, I applied with you in 2013, you didn't respond to me. I applied so you need to hire me. Or find someone, maybe your company friend, they should hire me. Me, I'll come back tomorrow. I'm telling you, and I came back dressed with my heels. I've come. You are just hiring me or another person. They had some looking French. I'm telling you, and I couldn't believe that I did that. Now that I said, I'm like, I can't believe
I am
that.
so inspired, and I think and this is why they say only people that really want to do something get what they want, because you have another level of trying to get what you want, and you got it.
Yeah.
Now, speaking of getting what you want, I think there's a lot of people out there that obviously need an encouragement here and there. What would your encouragement be to someone that thinks, oh, but I finished uni, because you obviously finished your uni. I finished uni. I can't just go with the 400 crash. Or me, I don't know anybody. What's your word of encouragement to someone who's looking to get a job or to just do something in media, in your line of business? What's your word of encouragement to them?
So one thing I always say is, as long as you've got two hands, legs, a brain, you can do anything. I didn't start off as a media personality for me to earn a bit of money. I found out I can dance, like I have moves. I was doing choreography. I've done choreographing as well for weddings. Yes, I'll just be like, oh, I'm wedding. Now I shop for them steps. What I'm stashing? I'm not 600. Now I'm not my steps. Now it's wedding line up 600 angle. Just like that. Like, and I'll do different weddings. The next thing, ZMBC, I was watching their Christmas dances. Like, trust me.
You did everything.
I did everything. There's a time when the salons were trending. I found that thing. I'm from Tanzania, so they were cheaper by the border.
Yeah.
By Nakonde, Tunduma there. I'm like, mashing a 20 I only got the 300. And I sold them in school. So you can do anything. The thing is, people like to box themselves. Oh, because I just love singing, I can just sing. Yes, you can sing. But maybe you can play.
What are you going to do about it?
You can even play footy, or you can even just rub someone's foot, or you can clean shoes. Like proper cleaning.
Yeah.
Let me clean those shoes. I have a 200 and then contribute towards what I want to do. So I had to make few kwachas to build my career as an MC, because I love what I do. So even my formal job, it helps me build who I am.
Right.
So yes, I make money from my MCing, but it also helps me anchor who I was, who I want to be, and where I'm going. So just know what you can do. Whatever talent you have, use that to make the money. You don't necessarily need a job, because I didn't have a job at first. I had to make use of whatever I can do. Then from there, have a job. It's hard to find a job nowadays. Trust me.
No, I know this.
Yeah. So whatever you can do, you can do. And once you just have one customer, you'll be shocked that I also make lotions. It's just that I need to do my
99 jobs.
No, I just need to do my standards of bureau, whatever. But I've tested the market. I've done my creams, whatever. And trust me, I will do you nice. Not that you become brown, a color.
Like,
no. Like blemishes, all those to my whatever. I can do that. And people get shocked. Like, Iku, you should do it. I'm like, no, guys, I'm still. So you can do anything, really, Stephanie.
I think anybody that's watching or listening to this point is just like, is there anything that this girl can or cannot do? Just like you, even me right now. After this podcast, we are going to sit down and write down notes on what Iku cannot do, so that we understand who Iku is not. Because clearly she's everything. She's 99 jobs late. I love that, by the way, because it's basically saying to someone that I think we should stop this whole laziness.
Yes.
I'm just going to sit home, wait for the government to offer us jobs. wait for this to happen. I think the waiting is what a lot of people need to stop doing, because I think maybe that's the biggest issue. We're waiting for perfection. We're waiting for the perfect camera crew. We're waiting for the perfect time, the perfect thing. There's no perfect anything. And I think that's what, from our conversation, I have grasped the fact that you have never waited for anything. You're just like, I'm just going to start and we're going to keep it going from here. Keep it going. And I literally now I'm thinking to myself, now when I wake up in the morning, I need to have something to do, whether it's cleaning a table.
My husband always tells me, when are you going to stop? Babe, stop. You need to sit down and relax. I'm like, no, I only relax when I die. I'm telling you. Like,
speaking of relaxing, I love that you brought out relaxing. What do you do for self-care? Like, I get it, you're a go-getter and you're always trying to make money, you're always trying to look for the best, the next best thing to do. What does Iku do in her spare time, just for self-care? Like, what do you do just to revamp yourself? Because there is something called burnout. What do you do for yourself as self-care?
So I took a risk, I think about 3 or 4 years ago to travel. I started on my own. When you're growing up, you're like, I'll travel with my husband. When I get married, we'll go to Bahamas. I never knew that you could actually do it yourself. So me and my friends, after a heartbreak, because remember I told you I was once engaged, we'll talk about that later maybe. So we're like, girls, let's go to Zanzibar. Okay. But how can we afford Zanzibar? So we got these blue packages. I didn't even know there were packages.
Oh yes, there's plenty.
Yeah, I didn't know that, because in my mind, remember, I was structured to my husband will take me. The man of my life will take me.
That's no one's inspiration.
I know, I never think that way. So I just said, okay, let me start doing vacays. And that has really helped. Okay. So when I travel, I go to a place, nature, just doing something different, that's really relaxing. And a little sleep also helps. So,
girl, I'm the queen of FYI, when I say queen of sleep, I mean I like to get my 8 hours in. Like, I'm just that person, and I always tell people, like, for me, sleep is everything. And I came across a podcast on YouTube, and it was basically justifying what I like to do. Like, 8 hours of sleep is necessary. Getting your 8 hours of sleep is...
Don't call me.
I'm the kind of person that will put myself on flight mode just so that I can get that. I want my 8 hours in, and I think it's just good to just like rejuvenate myself, and it helps me like think properly. I know there's people that say, oh, I'm not a morning person. I remember at church one time they told us, they say there's no such thing as you're not a morning person. That's actually a very bad spirit to have and whatnot. And since then, I've never really said I'm not a morning person. So now I do wake up and I'm like, what am I going to do? I mean, obviously there's the praying part of it and all of that. But when I wake up in the morning, I always say, okay, I need to be productive. But at the time when I can say, okay, let's get up. Because there's also this whole theory. In life, there's theories for everything. There's this whole theory of you can't just wake up from your sleep. And
because if you want to, or you have to make your bed, then you'll succeed. If you don't make your bed, then you won't succeed that day.
At this point, let's just have Iku's strategy of just you're going to give me what I want.
Exactly.
I love that. And I think that's something that a lot of girls need to look up to for in others, like people that are go-getters. Because I don't believe people understand what being a go-getter is. For me, you have literally defined what being a go-getter is. Like, you have said, I'm going to get it, and I will get it as and when it will come to me. But whatever time it is, 6 years, 5 years later, I'm going to get it. And I love that. And speaking of something, little girls and people looking up to you and all of that, what is your advice to the next generation of women in particular that are looking up to Iku, and what's next for Iku? Besides media, marriage, and little ones, what next for Iku? What should we be looking forward to?
Okay, so what's next for us? What's next for Iku before I go to the encouragement? I'm looking at creating a brand. I mean, there's a lot of brands in Zambia, beautiful brands, but I also just want to create an Iku brand so that people can know who Iku is. Yes, some people know who Iku is, maybe, but then I just want, when people see this, they know, okay, this is Iku, and that's what I want to leave as legacy here. Something that will grow you out of your, whatever you had put yourself, you exceed, because people say sky is the limit. There's no limit, really. You can even exceed, go up, and above and beyond. So that's exactly what I want to do. So I want to create a brand. I'll eventually also leave the formal employment and just focus on that so that I can grow that and just invest my time in all that. And I started this little program. I tried it out because I always try. Like I told you, I tried a few things. Last year, what I would do is I would take someone with me if I'm doing a show. So I post on something on social media. Whoever says, no, I want to be a part of your MC thing, I'll pick up that girl or guy, whichever, then they'll be part of the event. They'll be there, they'll be my guests, they'll see what I do. So you're seeing it vis-a-vis, as opposed to me coming up saying, you need to stand straight.
Yes.
They'll see me stand straight. And I'll go back to say, you saw what I did there, right? You've seen that people are talking, people are making, this is what you do. I go do that. Then the person sees, you saw what I did,
basically,
right?
they can see it firsthand as opposed to just telling.
Exactly. So I want to do that as well, just give people an opportunity for that. Because I know in Zambia, usually people like to keep away because they're scared. I know he'll take my job or she'll take my job. But I'm not really scared of that. If you want to take my job, you can have it. Because I know I'll still be equal.
I don't think there is such a thing as taking a job, because then you never had it in the first place. If someone comes to take it, then you never had it.
Someone has, I won't mention names, there's someone who was nervous when I was put on a show to say, no, she can't be, but she was already there. Why she wants to take over everything because she was. I'm like, guys, I was just invited to come and co-host. That's all. So I'm not here to take over. I'll be my little, and I love what you do. I'm not even competing with you, but it's always like, what if? No, maybe.
But I think that's a mindset. That's a very bad mindset. It's actually a mindset of competition. And they say competition is at the bottom because everyone at the top is collaborating. True. I don't believe in competition either. The only thing that I believe in is that I should always improve on myself. Sure. I should always be better. The next time Nico comes again on this podcast, it will be bigger and better. You know, that's the only competition that I have. I'm not afraid. You're in media. I'm in media. I don't think there's a reason why you shouldn't do a podcast either. You know, everybody has got their own dynamics. Everybody has got their own niche. And like I said even earlier, I think the only thing that we lack is finding your niche. That's all. That's all it is. Just find your niche and keep it going. So that's what your experience is with Iku and all of that. But now I want you to give us a little bit of an encouragement for, you know, the young girl. They're aspiring to be a media personality. They think it's easy. They think they're just going to one day wake up and be married like Iku, and it's just all going to fall on a silver platter. What is your word of encouragement to the young girl out there, or the young lady looking up to Iku who wants to be in media or a media personality?
So first things first, you need to love yourself, because when you step into the media industry, people will finish you. They will say, oh, she's got big eyes. Oh, she's not too pretty. She's not prettier than, oh, this one is prettier than her. Oh, she's whatever. So you need to love yourself, accept who you are. That's the first thing. You need to work on yourself as an individual. Because the moment you open up yourself to the world will give you whatever, good or bad. So you should be able to hold that in or leave it out or whatever. So first thing is you. Then also sit down and, do you really want to be like Iku because you think Iku is cool, or do you really love emceeing? Will you feel, I should have emceed that wedding because I know I can pour out something? Because I feel that need, like, there's so much I can do for this bride. I want to make, because my happiness is when the bride is happy. Yes, the money is good, but for me, I want the bride to be happy, the groom, the family, everyone's happy, or the owner of the event, the CEO of a company. For me, that is like, I've done my job. So you have to have that longing or that need to fill in the gap to help someone's event be complete. Not really, okay, I'm going to wear the best dress, I'm going to interact with Stephanie maybe, and they're the top of the tops. It's not about that. So you really need to know if you really, really want to do that. Then are you ready to invest in that talent of yours, even when no one is believing in you? Sometimes I've gone to an event where something happened. I think when doing the serving of the food, quite confusion, like before they whatever. Like it was just a little mistake from their part. But you know, when you're MC, everything is MC.
Yes.
So now I had to create that mistake. The man started saying, "A problem MC because she's not even a seasoned MC. Because in Gachi operator, and they're like, wow, I didn't even know that they jumped the line. I was literally this side organizing." Yeah, so look at it.
I'm always shocked when people are
so they will. So now imagine if I was like, okay, maybe they're right. Maybe I shouldn't be. I'm not seasoned, or I'm not a proper MC, or maybe I'm not a woman, I'm not a man. You know, it would affect me. But I know who I am. So you know when they say that, I'm like, I'm not going to dwell on that. Let me just sort out the mess, whatever mess has been created,
Right.
and then we move on.
Right.
And that family, for example, has been inviting me for years. I've been doing all their events because they know what I can do. So people will talk. So you need to be ready to receive all those things by believing who you really are. Yes, and accept. And like I mentioned, whether people are with you, they're not with you, if you know what you want, you're going to do it.
Thank you for that, Iku. Thank you for being on Nkani With Nkashiyandi. I appreciate your time. I look forward. I want to also fall under that mentorship. I always say, I like that she's laughing. I always say, but really and truly, I always say I never stop learning from others. And if there's something that I appreciate is knowledge that comes in from people that have gone before me. Because I know to say, okay, even though you can't avoid any hurdles and all of that, I know to say that people who have gone before me can definitely give me a little bit of advice that can at least help me, you know, jump that hurdle. Even though I find the hurdle, I can at least jump it. So I look forward to pushing people as well towards you for mentorship and all of that. I feel you're a great person. I loved every bit of our conversation. I know it's extrovert on extrovert, so I know. I feel sorry for everyone who's going to be watching this podcast.
And I was laughing out loud. Jeez, I don't even know. I'm like,
tell you something for free. This is an authentic podcast for authentic people, for people to just get the raw version of us. I think that's something that is missing out there. A raw version of people, authenticness. Like everybody should be who they are. After all, that's the reason why you're in your job. That's the reason that you're Iku, and that's the reason who you are today. So once again, thank you very much for being on my podcast. Looking forward to hosting you again.